In this lecture, I will give a demo of the simulation capabilities of Program Mark using the northern spotted owl example we studied last time. The overall goal is to determine what sample sizes are needed to detect the effect of barred owls on the survival of spotted owls. From the Mark menu, select File, Simulations, and Set up Simulation. This brings up a funny pop-up window warning that some of the simulation features in Mark have not been fully debugged. After chasing around the override option for a while, we start to get a glimpse of Gary White's sense of humor. Just double-click anywhere in the gray box and this brings up the model specification window. From the spotted owl example, there are 20 years of data, so we will set the number of occasions to 20. There are 2 study areas, so the number of groups is 2, and we can enter group labels for the Washington and Oregon study areas. Hit OK. Select the Pradel model from the menu. The example used the survival and recruitment parameterization, so go ahead and select this option. Hit OK and hit OK again. Now we get the simulation specification window, and the first thing we want to do is set up the PIM structure for the true model. So let's go to the True Model tab, then select PIM and Parameter Index Chart from the menu, and we want to make the detection and recruitment parameters constant across the time occasions. So we make P constant and F constant. Now we want to constrain recruitment to be equal across the 2 study area groups and renumber with overlap. And now we get the PIM structure for the true model from the last lecture. Go ahead and close this window down. Click the current PIM model button, then enter the name of the model, P group, F dot, and phi as a function of the barred owl covariate. Make sure the identity link function is checked and hit OK. Now we are ready to input the beta values. Let's open up the Beta Values tab. Because we use the identity link, we can input the betas on the probability scale. In the lab material, there is an Excel file named NSO Class PARM Worksheet. We use this file to set up the true model in the last lecture. So open the Pradel model spreadsheet, and this column contains the survival estimates as a function of the barred owl covariate on the probability scale. There are only 19 phis for each group because the first phi cannot be estimated in the time-specific Pradel model. The column also contains estimates of detection and recruitment on the probability scale here, and the parameters have been ordered according to the parameter indices from the PIM. So let's copy these estimates from the spreadsheet and paste them into the beta values by selecting the first cell and punching paste. And let's advance the window using the More button. And we can see parameter 41 is the recruitment probability, and parameters 39 and 40 are the detection probabilities for group 1 and group 2. So hit OK. Notice in the tasks required, the true model is listed, the number of beta parameters have been set, the numbers of releases have been set, but the simulation parameters have not yet been set. Now let's take a look at the number of releases. Mark entered a default of 100 releases per year for the 2 groups. Let's change this to 25 for each group and hit OK. Now let's go to the Estimation Models tab. We want to bring up the design matrix, so we'll select Design, Reduced with 5 columns, hit OK. And the first thing we want to do is set the intercept for phi, so we go to Fill Column, Partial Intercept with 38 rows, hit OK. And now we want to go back to the spreadsheet. And let's copy the Bard-Ald covariate for the Washington study area. And we can copy that straight into the design matrix. And the same thing for the Bard-Ald covariate in the Oregon study area. Copy this and paste the covariate values into the design matrix. And now we want to set the intercept for detection. And here is the effect for the Oregon study area. And here is the beta for constant recruitment. So let's click the current PIM model and name the estimation model. And so here we have P group, recruitment dot, and phi as a function of the Bard-Ald covariate. Select the Logit link because now we have an intercept indicator variable design matrix that includes a covariate on phi. And then click Add Model. Now let's add a second estimation model that does not include the Bard-Ald effect on phi. All we have to do is delete the covariate column in the design matrix. And let's go back to the Estimation Models tab, select Current PIM Model, and provide a name for this model. So now we have P group, F dot, and phi dot. Again, make sure the Logit link function is selected, and then click Add Model. And now the two estimation models are listed. Now all that remains is to set the simulation parameters. Click AICC, beta estimates, and the standard error for those beta estimates, deviance and number of parameters, and real estimates and the standard errors for those real estimates. Now let's select 1000 number of simulations and click OK. And the idea is to run different simulations with varying numbers of releases to determine what sample sizes are needed to detect the effect of barred owls on spotted owl survival. You could also vary the number of capture occasions to determine how many years are needed to observe the barred owl effect. Now you are ready to run the simulation. Click Start, navigate to the directory and name the results file. Click OK. After the simulation runs, you can open the DBF file from Excel. File, Open, All file types, navigate to the DBF file, from Excel you can save as a CSV file or an Excel workbook. We will go over ways of summarizing the results in the next lecture. If you want to run another simulation with the same models, go to File, Simulations, and Modify Simulations file. Browse to the simulation. The true and estimation models are stored, but you have to redo the betas, releases, and simulation specifications. Go to the Beta Values tab and click OK to accept the old betas. Go to the Releases tab and plug in the new number of releases, let's say 75. Click OK and reset the simulation specifications, AICC, betas and their standard errors, the deviants, number of parameters, the real estimates and their standard errors. Run it for 1,000 simulations. Click Start. Name the results as a different file. Click OK, and there you go.